So I think there are things that we as human beings need to be reminded of constantly, maybe almost daily. We need daily reminders of certain things. And I was confronted recently with this. I was reading a devotion from the author and lawyer Bob Goff. And at the end of the devotion, it had this question. It said, "Who are you comparing yourself to today?" And that question really struck me because I wanted to say, like, I don't compare myself to anybody else, but the truth is that I do. And I was confronted with that question, confronted with the reminder that I often compare myself to other people. Now, one of my favorite stories in the Bible is when Jesus is walking with his disciples and he hears them having this conversation, this quarrel, this argument behind him. And this argument was they were arguing over who was the greatest. And so Jesus had to remind them of something. He had to remind them the thing that he was trying to get them to learn about what it means to be great. And he sat them down, he sat all of the disciples down, and he said, to be first is to be last, and is to be the servant of all. Well, that doesn't bode well in our society when we think about competition. But I was reading a book the other day called Shoe Dog from Phil Knight, the person who created Nike. And in the book, he talks about his experience as a track and field runner. And he said, the best competitors are the ones who can actually forget that they're even in a competition. He said the best competitors are those who forget that a competition is even happening at all, because they're so focused on their race. Now, this is exactly what Paul says when he says we must be people who lay all of those things aside and run our race. Because to do that is to forget the competition and to find our own unique race. Amen.